Hi, I'm Ben, Director of Client Strategy here at WebFX, and today we're going to talk about how to budget for 2025. Creating a budget for 2025 can be overwhelming. It involves forecasting, goal setting, and then you have to figure out where should I put my dollars? SEO, paid advertising, TikTok, connected TV, or should I just stash the cash under my pillow? Actually, that last one, I probably wouldn't just stash it under your pillow. If you're not spending, you're probably losing. But here's the thing. Why would you want to stash that money under your pillow? Well, it's probably because you're afraid to make investments. You're not sure what's going to happen. And that kind of brings us to our first point of how to budget for 2025. So the first tip we have here starts with data. Data. We've heard it so much, and we're probably tired of hearing it. And it's not the issue of lack of data, it's the lack of understanding data. And really understanding what investments am I currently making now, and what is it actually doing for me and for my business and for revenue generation? And how do I apply that to my goals for 2025? Oftentimes, businesses don't really understand the leads that they're generating from all of their channels and which ones actually become customers. We need to understand from beginning to end, how are we getting those customers in the first place, and which ones are becoming qualified leads, and from there, who's closing and how much revenue are we getting, and connecting it back to the beginning. That's our first step. If you don't know how much revenue you're generating from your current investments, it's really hard to feel confident about scaling resources in anything in 2025. So the first place you need to budget for is connecting the data dots and investing in a few tools that make that easier for you. So we have our website, we're spending money to bring people in, and we have some type of CRM, hopefully. That's the next one. How are you managing your customers that become leads? Are you using spreadsheets still? Come on, let's get with it. Throw the spreadsheets in the trash, and the next thing you need to budget for is a CRM, or customer relationship management tool. WebFX actually has one of those called Nutshell. Makes it really easy to get started, so you can actually get as much value as possible out of all the leads you're generating from all the different channels you're investing in. That's the next thing you need to invest in and budget for 2025. And if you're not, you're gonna lose. At WebFX, we work with a lot of lead generation businesses, and that's really where a lot of this data connection issue is relevant. And when we think about all the different types of ways we generate leads, one of them typically for lead gen is gonna be phone calls. Are you really understanding what calls become customers? What calls are customer success, and what channels are driving all those phone calls on your website? That's our third thing to budget for. If you're not investing in a call tracking solution, you need to right now. And that call tracking solution is going to enable you to understand what channels are generating calls, and more importantly, be able to send the call data into your CRM, which you've also budgeted for. And now we're going to really be able to understand the entire impact of all those channels we're investing in, not just form completions on the site, but also the phone calls we're generating from it. We've seen it time and time again. When clients implement a call tracking solution, it absolutely impacts the decisions and where they spend their dollars in the future. So we've invested in understanding our data and figuring out what channels are driving the biggest impact for our business. The next piece now is understanding what are those areas we need to make further investments in from a marketing perspective. We usually start by trying to make sure we're maximizing the things that are working well right now. And that's our next step in figuring out our budget for 2025. For a lot of the clients we work with at WebFX, once we solve the attribution problem, a few things are uncovered, and I want to share some of those learnings for you today, because that should help you guide the budget recommendations for next year. What we're finding for a lot of our clients is search engine optimization, or SEO, has a fantastic ROI. And it's more and more prevalent when we connect these dots with our CRM. Content's always going to be important. And that's one of the first areas we need to be investing in 2025. Some of you may already be doing that. And some of you may not really know what's happening in search with AI becoming more prevalent. It's important for us to make sure we're putting enough resources behind search engine optimization to be ready for the now, scale the things that are working well, and prepare ourselves for the future changes that we're seeing with AI and SEO. As search evolves to become more of an assistant that you have a conversation with, and more AI results show up in search results, We're also seeing that the market's becoming more segmented. There's more options for customers to discover our businesses. We can optimize our sites and content on the web to take advantage of this opportunity. SEO and search marketing is always going to be important. Investing in optimizing and driving a larger share of voice in search results is always going to be important. And absolutely, content is going to be king and always will be. That's where AI actually learns from. Having the right content that fits the intent of the user is absolutely going to be important. It's absolutely a thing that you need to budget for and invest in and scale for seeing the right results right now. But there's a huge opportunity for us to invest in areas that customers are discovering businesses. More and more are using chatbots, leveraging AI to figure out and answer problems that they have. We have the ability now to be in those places as well. Will search become more fragmented? Likely it will be. But what's really exciting for us is there's so many more ways to get in front of customers. And if we play our cards right and we put enough resources behind it, we have more opportunity to grab more market share and drive more customers to our business, knowing we have the right data foundation to understand the return on investment. Search engine optimization is really becoming generative engine optimization. We're optimizing for search first. We're creating content based on what people are searching for, but it's opening up the playing field and enabling us to get in front of more customers and all the different ways they're discovering businesses and solving problems. That's of utmost importance in 2025. Put it in your budget. The next piece that's important is making sure that we are establishing as much share of voice as possible through other means like paid advertising. Paid search, everyone knows what it is. A lot of people are investing in it. It is still extremely important, but it's becoming more and more competitive. This goes back to what I talked about before, connecting the dots with data. Paid search is so important to invest in 2025, especially if you're thinking about expanding into new services, new territories. It enables you to go to market much faster while you invest in those long-term tactics like getting more placement in AI, establishing more reach and better rankings in SEO. We need to invest in paid advertising to get the cash flow going for those new opportunities that we're going after in 2025. If your business has those in your sites, we need to go after it. We need to invest in paid search. We need the right data foundation. We need to be able to connect the dots on what leads we're getting from paid search are actually closing and generating revenue. And we need to send that back to Google to make sure that our targeting is on point. As more and more people invest in paid, we need to make sure that we're as targeted as possible and we're leveraging our first party data to train the campaigns to perform better for us. So again, the most important thing is connecting the dots of your data. The businesses that take their first party data of closed won business and use that to train Google ad campaigns to be more selective with who we show ads to, see around a 20% lift in their ROI. This is incredibly impactful, helps us maximize the potential of our current budgets right now and make it much more attractive to invest more dollars in that in the future. So absolutely, again, data is number one, training the campaigns is number two, and that enables us to make that a very viable option for additional budget in 2025. We figured out data, we're maximizing our potential in SEO, we're taking advantage of generative AI and getting as much reach as possible there with our current content and other placements on other websites. We're improving our ROI in paid advertising and scaling in those investments, especially if we have new markets and services and products we're trying to get into. So what's next once we've maximized the potential there? We need to step up in the sales funnel a little bit. That's where branding, awareness, and demand generation comes into play. Social media is absolutely something we need to work into the mix. If you're a business that's never touched social media and you don't think it's important, you need to modernize your mindset a little bit. If you're not managing social media, it's going to manage you. There's opportunity in all these platforms for almost any business. We usually start by recommending what makes the most sense for you. If it's B2B, start thinking about leveraging LinkedIn more. There's amazing targeting capabilities, and it's a fantastic way of branding and developing more reach with your ideal customers. If you're more in the B2C space, Facebook's absolutely important. For a lot of home service businesses, it's your digital way of developing more word of mouth for your business, the equivalent to a yard sign from a neighbor who got a new roof. All businesses need to weave social media in some capacity, whether it's one channel or all channels based on your goals, into your budget for 2025. For branding, for awareness, for lead generation, there's a plethora of opportunities there. Start thinking about that for next year. We're seeing more and more clients pull spend from more traditional advertising placements like billboards, radio, and TV ads, and investing in better targeted opportunities such as connected TV, streaming audio like Spotify, and even some other options out there through programmatic advertising. There's a lot of capabilities for us to be very targeted, very specific with those dollars that have a bigger impact on your business. These channels offer better targeting and better attribution, so the investments there, unlike a billboard, you can actually understand how it influences everything else in your sales pipeline. Some examples of the targeting we can do with these types of campaigns. Let's say you're a roofing company and you send a quote to a customer. Well, they're getting quotes from 4 or 5 other businesses at the same time, and they're in this decision-making process. We can run targeted ads to them through connected TV to encourage them to consider your business above all the other ones. This can really do a lot for your sales team to help close more of the leads in your pipeline. Let's say you're in B2B. We can track all the businesses visiting your website, whether they fill out a form or not. And then we can actually run advertising to everyone in the company, including the decision makers, to encourage them to come back and fill out that form. These can all be better replacements for some of those branding efforts that you have out there. Consider budgeting or reallocating funds into these more targeted tactics in 2025. To wrap things up, it's never a one-size-fits-all. We gave you some ideas today, but it all starts with data. Connecting those dots is of utmost importance in 2025. It helps us understand what things we need to lean into more, what things we need to dial back on, and it gives us the confidence to invest in new opportunities, knowing that we'll understand its impact on our key performance indicators. If you want to learn more about this type of stuff, and if you like this content and you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date.